They told me the dog was smarter than I was. Turned out, they were right. I was on a combat tracker team in Vietnam. 1975 men and one German shepherd named Duke. Our job was to follow blood and tracks after an ambush and figure out where the people who just shot our guys were going next. One afternoon, a patrol got hit not far from a small fire base we were at. The radio came alive. Contact, contact. This is Bravo 2-3. Ambushed on patrol, multiple wounded. Enemy breaking contact to the west. You could hear the panic behind the radio discipline. Grab your gear, our team leader, Staff Sergeant Cole, said. That's us. A slick dropped us near the ambush site. The jungle still stank of gunpowder and burned leaves. Their wounded were already being pulled back toward a makeshift LZ. What was left was brass, blood, and churned up brush where the first fight had happened. A lieutenant pointed us toward a messy section of trail. They hit us there and ran that way, he said. We want to know if they're setting up to smack us again. Morales, Duke's handler, walked the dog through the kill zone. Duke lowered his head, sniffing a bloody bandage and a rifle with a smeared handprint. Then the ground. Track, Morales said quietly. Duke moved off, nose down. We followed in single file. Duke and Morales up front, Cole behind them, me, then two flankers just off the trail. We moved slow tracking pace. The jungle closed around us, damp and heavy. Little signs confirmed the dog. A bent frond, a boot scuff, a drop of blood on a leaf. Fresh, Morales murmured. They're not far. After maybe 50, 60 meters, Duke stopped dead. He hit the end of the leash and went rigid, staring ahead, nose up now, sniffing the air instead of the ground. A low growl started in his chest. We all froze. What's he got? Cole whispered. He smells them, Morales said. Close. Too close. He doesn't know exactly where yet. We spread out a bit more, rifles up, eyes searching the green in front of us. It looked like normal jungle trees, ferns, shadows, nothing obvious. Duke took a few slow steps, crossed a shallow depression with scuffed earth and a small smear of blood, then climbed the far side. 3 steps later, he did something I'd never seen. He turned, looked at Morales, and slowly lay down, facing forward but flat to the ground, head between his paws. He did not move. My stomach dropped. He's telling us they're right there, Morales said. His voice had gone tight. He's not going any farther. How far? Cole asked. Smell distance, Morales said. 30 meters, maybe less. We stared into the trees. Nothing obvious, but the hairs on my neck were all standing up. All right, Cole decided. We're not walking into that. We back off and bring steel. He called our position on the radio and requested artillery small box mission just ahead of us, around where Duke had stopped. The lieutenant on the other end wasn't thrilled about dropping rounds so close. Either you trust the dog, Cole said, or we go find out the stupid way. In the end, they trusted the dog. Shot, over, shot out, splash, over, splash out. We hugged the dirt. The first 105 round landed ahead of us with a heavy crack. Then, 3 more walked across the unseen ground in front of Duke's nose. Leaves, dirt, and bits of something flew up. Under the ringing in my ears, I heard faint yelling from up there. Not ours. When it went quiet, Duke stood up, shook himself, and trotted forward like someone had just opened a door. We followed. The jungle ahead was chewed up fresh craters, splintered trees, branches blown apart. In the middle of it ran a shallow camouflage trench line we hadn't seen before. Overhead cover. Firing slits aimed right back at the first ambush site. Range markers cut into tree bark. And in that trench line, bodies. 4, maybe 5 in VA, some half thrown from cover. One slumped over a machine gun whose barrel pointed exactly where we would have walked if we'd kept going. Second ambush, one of our guys said quietly. Yeah, Cole replied. We were the encore. We checked the positions, grabbed some papers and gear for intel, then circled back. Duke sniffed along the trench, then the ground beyond. After a bit, he came back and sat in front of Morales, tail giving one slow thump. He says trail's cold after this, Morales said. Whoever was supposed to be behind them never made it here. Back near the lines, the lieutenant asked how close we'd been. I held my hand a few inches from my face. About this close to walking right into it, I said. Dog's the one who decided he'd rather not die today. That night, lying in my bunker, listening to the jungle and distant artillery, I kept seeing that moment Duke lying down, refusing to move, staring at Morales like, you brought us far enough. People like to talk about war dogs as if it's all attacks and tackles. But the bravest thing I ever saw one do wasn't a leap. It was a shepherd deciding, quietly, that the next step forward wasn't worth taking and saving 5 men who were dumb enough to keep going without him.